Welcome to the McKinley Diaries, 21 years on, with myself, Nigel Vardy. We are now on day 18, the 17th of May, 1999. Well, we woke up on time again. You can tell what's coming, can't you? But as usual, we didn't leave camp early. Well, it was about midday. We'd had a few extra problems, however, and we'd had to batten down the hatches really quite severely. Where we were was right on the edge of this little rock face I spoke about, and the wind was vortexing. So it was lifting things around, battering things. Then there was nothing. Then there was everything. You couldn't understand what was going on. So we basically just held everything down the best that we could, nailed it to the floor in the best way that was possible. The wind then picked up this fleece. Now, you saw this fleece earlier. I was wearing it. It just got hold of it and did that. And that flew down the hill. I saw it go, thank goodness. And as we descended, I did manage to grab hold of it. Thankfully, it only went a few feet. I was so lucky. It was plastered in ice and snow, and I'm going to have to dry that out, but at least I've got it. And it's a big lesson to anyone. When you take your gloves off, never just put them down. Put them in a bag, sit on them, something, hold them, they'll go. Never put your helmet on the ice, your thermos flask, your map. It's going to fly. Down we went, back to another cache. And at first I thought Tony was leading, and I thought he was leading us the wrong way. And it seemed far too close to the ranger station at 14,000 feet. And I'm thinking, Tony, what are you doing? However, he took a quick sidestep and missed out quite a lot of rock and debris in our way, and straight onto the rib itself. A great move, Tony. Well done, mate. Suddenly the Americans appeared, Jumaring up their immense set of fixed ropes. But they'd split off. Barbara and Steve had decided to descend to 14,000 feet and then climb the standard Washburn route onto the mountain, whilst Tony and Jeff decided to plough on and climb the rib. Well, we said our hellos and goodbyes, clipped onto the ropes and abseiled over the edge and down a beautiful slope and walked the snow ridges to our final cache. Another abseil, and we were down there, but it was already 3 p.m. After a pack up and a small dinner, we made for home, and the wind had started to pick up again. It had begun to buffet us around like paper. It's never a great thing on the hill. Anybody that's been places like the Cairngorm Plateau in Scotland will know this straight away. I fell a number of times, and in one occurrence I actually caught my crampons on something, and it's a very tense situation. You know, you've got a feet full of spikes, you've only got to catch them on something or get them into a sling, anything else, and it really puts you in a desperate position. I heard Steve crying for help from above as we were going up one of the ropes, and I shouted and shouted repeatedly, but got no reply. Wind will soon take your voice. Had he hurt himself? Was he all right? We didn't know, and I couldn't see him, couldn't talk to him. Eventually, we climbed hurriedly up to the crest to find he'd lost a glove, and that was his panic. And, well, I'd got some spares on board, thankfully, and I gave him a spare glove, and we were on our way again. The wind continued this horrible game of cat and mouse until eventually at 11 p.m. we crawled back into the tents. And thank God it says here that they were still up and well battened down. We had to bury any gear that was going to stay outside to prevent it from being blown away. And we all piled into the one tent for an evening meal. And, you know, we were just exhausted. I was shaking with the cold, a very slow shake, not a really quick shiver. But eventually, after some pretty poor jokes, and believe me, we made some pretty poor jokes on the hill, a boil in the bag meal, hey, we were posh. You know, we settled down, and I've written here, I really need to eat more. But it was more important of me to get some food in, and get to bed and sleep at the very late hour of 1 a.m.